The voicemail arrived before the candles even melted. "We are in Rome," Father announced, his laugh sounding like a bad joke. "We needed to keep you occupied." That sound cut through the silence. I had spent months perfecting the party, balloons, a fragile cake, every chair set. I waited for family not planning attendance. I froze, phone vibrating. Their laughter echoed, distance separating us. 3 months, my funds, my trust, wiped out instantly. No screams. No callback attempted. A week passed. Calls became nonstop. I had a plan ready they would not predict. I was raised in Raleigh, North Carolina. A town where family meals were essential. I once believed this was true. I am Chloe Hayes, age 24, the reliable one. The daughter everyone counted on. I held an accounting clerk job at a small firm. 8 hours of data, then 4 more hours planning others' happiness. My parents termed it helping. I labeled it peacekeeping. 3 months prior, my younger sister Willow turned 16. A major sweet 16 milestone. I saw it as my chance to make her feel unique. Maybe show mom and dad I also mattered. I committed to planning the perfect evening. I reserved a riverside restaurant, complete with string lights and quiet jazz. I personally wrote invitations. Folded napkins into stars. Half my savings went to pink decor. Mom insisted, she hates purple, you know. Daily, during lunch, I secretly called the manager, detailing the menu. My boss watched, glaring over his screen. "Hurry up, Chloe," he commanded. I rushed, apologizing for excessive effort. My living room became an event studio nightly. Balloons stacked the walls. Bins clustered my desk. Notes were stuck everywhere. I scrolled through Willow's baby photos, printing them for an album. First bike, our snowman, the kitchen cookie fight. All memories I believed held meaning. Mother monitored my work. "Willow prefers fancier cakes," she declared, maybe 3 tiers. She tapped my expense receipts. Father texted daily, "Don't economize on food, she deserves quality." Payment was never offered. I did not request it. My pattern, fixing, funding, then forgiving. I texted Willow for input. She responded, "Cool. Zero elaboration. No thank you. No questions." I dismissed it as typical teenage behavior. Yet, a quiet thought persisted, perhaps I am only noticed when necessary. I packed items carefully the night before. Candles, balloons, the tissue-wrapped photo album. I visualized her entrance, surprised, possibly even grateful. Mother called the next morning. Her tone was abrupt. "Confirm the restaurant reservation again. Willow is counting on you." Counting on me. Those words brought pride previously. That day, they caused only fatigue. I did not realize then they relied on me zero. They were actually using my time for other purposes. The week preceding Willow's birthday felt like walking on broken glass. I thought I finished everything. Mother instantly found flaws. "Fix the flowers. Pink roses, not carnations." Father interjected from the background, "Don't skimp on the band, Chloe. This night is huge for her." I agreed, though each word meant a new debit card transaction. My focus shattered at the office. I squeezed calls between client reports, verifying orders, and timing. My boss noticed. "Plan your small party outside work hours," he suggested without looking up. The shame stung. I smiled anyway, my usual response. That weekend, I drove across town for decorations. My car smelled of latex and frosting. I maximized the radio volume to silence my thoughts. Family demands sacrifice, I told myself. I had always been the one stabilizing things. Arriving home, Willow lounged on the sofa, scrolling her phone. "Hey, party plans are nearly done," I offered lightly. She didn't glance up. Cool. Just that single word. Cold, detached. It landed harder than an insult. Mother was in the kitchen, leafing through glossy travel magazines. "Shouldn't you assist with gift wrapping?" I asked. She smiled, still focused on the magazine. "You handle these things better, dear. I trust you." Trust. That word felt warped. It wasn't trust. It was delegation. They trusted me to manage everything, eliminating their effort. During dinner, they discussed museums, flights, and dining spots. But not for Willow's birthday. I caught a fragment, something about Rome and plane tickets. I looked up, but Mother quickly changed topics. "Remember to call the bakery tomorrow," she instructed too fast. My stomach tightened. I dismissed it. They probably meant a local Italian place, not Rome, Italy. That level of faith still remained. I stayed up late finalizing centerpieces and gift bags the night before the event, my eyes burned. I sent a final group text confirming the time, Mom, Dad, Willow. No replies. They must be busy, I reasoned. Father called the next morning. Is everything set? Yes, I replied. Eager for you all to see it. He paused slightly too long. Good job, kiddo. Then hung up. It should have sounded proud. It didn't. It sounded final. Jenna, my coworker, stopped by my cubicle that day. You look exhausted, she said, offering coffee. I forced a laugh. Family obligations. She nodded slowly, the nod of shared experience. Sometimes, she noted quietly, the people you dedicate everything to are the ones who take it completely for granted. Her comment resonated longer than I wished. That evening, arranging candles one last time, I observed the reserved for family sign on the main table. For the first time, I questioned if I still qualified as family. By 6 o'clock, the venue was flawless. Gentle music played. Pink balloons drifted under string lights. The river outside reflected the sunset's last rays. The Happy Sweet 16 banner glowed. I checked my phone. No new texts. Willow was scheduled for 6 o'clock sharp. Parents promised early arrival. I inhaled deeply. I texted, already here. Can't wait. No reply. The band retuned their instruments, polite smiles becoming strained. The server waited near the kitchen. Drinks to start? He asked gently. I shook my head, pretending to check my phone. 6:10, then 6:15. I called Willow, straight to voicemail. I tried Mother, same result. Father answered on the third ring. Hello, Chloe, he sounded casual, almost cheerful. I heard chatter, a foreign echo in the background. Where are you people? I demanded. A pause. Then laughter. Oh, didn't we mention? We're in Rome. The room spun. I gripped the phone. Rome? Yes, he confirmed, like trivial news. We just needed you occupied while arranging something truly special for Willow. Then he laughed. That easy, dismissive laugh sealed my throat. My mind went blank. The air felt too loud, too heavy. Behind me, the air conditioning draft made the balloons tremble. The cake, hours in the making, waited untouched, frosting gleaming. I tried to speak. Anything. Nothing emerged. My chest burned, voice trapped. They had exploited me. They planned this whole diversion. The band began packing silently. Guitar case clinks jolted me back. The server approached again. Should we cancel the booking, miss? I nodded slowly. Donate the food, I whispered. Please. He hesitated, pity visible in his eyes, then nodded and retreated, leaving me isolated. I walked to the table designated for my family. 6 vacant chairs. I placed the wrapped photo album centrally. Inside were pictures of 2 little girls, snow boots, frosting on faces, laughing under holiday lights. I longed for that sound again. I only heard my father's words echoing, we just wanted to keep you occupied. I deactivated my phone. I gazed out the window. City lights across the river blurred into streaks. In the reflection, I saw myself, alone, composed, and strikingly lucid. For the first time, I did not cry. I did not beg. Something inside me had solidified, like water turning to ice. I grabbed my purse, pushed the door open, and stepped into the cool night air. The final musical note faded behind me. My hands remained steady. My heart did not race. I just walked. If they expected me to collapse, they were mistaken. That night, I resolved to stop being the one who waited for their return. A week elapsed before the first call arrived. Then another. Then 30 more. 36 missed calls in 60 minutes. Mother, Father, Willow. The same names repeatedly flashed on my screen, like an emergency alarm. I ignored them. I sat quietly on my sofa, the apartment silent save for the refrigerator's soft hum. My phone continued buzzing, vibrating on the counter. Previously, that sound triggered anxiety. Now, it felt distant, irrelevant. I typed one text message, send it. I'm very busy. Then flipped the phone face down and finally breathed out. That week, I executed something wholly unexpected by them. I printed statements, emails, and receipts. Every payment I made for that party, deposit, decor, cake, band, all from my account. Every dollar was traceable. I filed them neatly into a red-labeled folder, ready for when they inevitably appeared. When they arrived, showing up at my door with strained smiles and feigned shock, I was prepared. Mother's voice cut sharp immediately. "You've embarrassed us. The entire family is talking." Father stood with crossed arms. "You believe you can walk away after this stunt?" "What stunt?" I inquired softly. Willow stood behind them, defiant, arms crossed. "You made us look bad. Everyone knows about the party." They misunderstood how people knew. 2 days earlier, I had emailed every relative, neighbor, and yes, even Willow's friends. I attached images of the empty venue, the untouched cake, the chair set for absent people. No captions. No outrage. Just the factual truth. The subject read, "The party I planned alone." By morning, whispers became a frenzy. My parents' facade, devoted family, doting parents, was shattering. Cousins messaged disbelief. Neighbors stopped greeting them during morning walks. Willow's supposed closest friends unfollowed her. Screenshots of their group chats leaked online. As for me? I did not gloat. I simply worked. I drafted my resignation for the firm. 2 weeks' notice, no explanation required. Then I opened an email from my best friend, Jenna. "That photography course I mentioned still has openings. You should enroll." For the first time, I did not hesitate. I applied immediately. While my parents focused on defending themselves, I secured a one-way ticket to Seattle. I found an inexpensive studio near the art school. Aunt Sarah offered me her spare room until I settled. Each evening, I packed a box, releasing another unnecessary memory. My apartment walls emptied, but my heart felt lighter than it had in years. The day before I left, they returned, this time filled with aggression. Mother slammed a folder onto my table. "You stole from our savings." I remained unfazed. I produced my own prepared folder and handed it to the officer positioned behind them. He scanned the documents, looked at me, then back at them. All expenditures were from her personal account. There is no evidence of theft. Father's jaw tightened. Mother mumbled something about confusion. Willow rolled her eyes. "Whatever. You're still acting dramatic." I offered a slight smile. "Perhaps. But I am also free." When they departed, the silence in my apartment felt different. Not oppressive, not lonely. It was simply mine. That night, I packed my final box. On top, I placed my old camera, buried for years in a drawer. I wiped the lens, aimed it toward the window, and captured the city lights. The resulting photo was blurry, imperfect, yet authentic, like me. By sunrise, my phone buzzed incessantly. Dozens of missed calls. I ignored checking the sender. I knew. I brewed coffee, watched the steam rise, and smiled. They finally realized I was unreachable, not because I was physically absent, but because I stopped waiting for them to acknowledge me. The next time I heard that ringtone, it would not make me flinch. It would remind me of how far I had progressed. By the moment my flight confirmation arrived, the storm had already engulfed them. Mother's book club stopped extending invitations. Dad's colleagues whispered about the Rome trip. Willow's friends posted vague quotes concerning loyalty and deceit. Every notification, every call they sent, confirmed the truth had achieved what I could not speak. It spoke for me. They called again that morning, 12 times before breakfast. The phone vibrated across the counter, a steady, desperate rhythm. I poured coffee and let it ring. They left voicemails, their tones switching like radio stations. "Mother first, Chloe, please, let's discuss this. Families quarrel, but we forgive." Then Father, "You think you can embarrass us publicly and simply walk away?" And Willow, her voice high and sharp, "You ruined my birthday. Everyone hates me now." I almost laughed. Not with malice, but with pure disbelief. They still believed the situation revolved around their suffering. I sat at my desk. The Seattle acceptance email glowed on the screen. I hadn't genuinely smiled like this in years. For the first time, I possessed something independent of their demands. A life, a plan, a true dream. I printed my travel itinerary and pinned it above the desk. Flight RAL to Seattle. Departure in 3 weeks. Next, I started clearing the party decorations, ribbons, spare place cards, and used candles. I boxed them neatly and labeled the container "Unsent Invitations." I carried it downstairs and left it by the dumpster. Watching it sit there under the afternoon sun felt like releasing a physical weight. Later, I checked my bank application. $2,000 remaining. Tight, but sufficient. I listed cheap apartments near the campus, potential cash-paying part-time jobs. I planned to work in a coffee shop, perhaps shoot photos on weekends. I required little, just autonomy. A few days later, a knock came. 3 loud, distinct raps. I didn't need the peephole. "Chloe, please." Mother's voice cracked. "People are speaking horribly about us. You must help us fix this." I stayed still, my hand resting on the doorknob. "You taught me to clean up your mistakes," I stated quietly through the door. "But this mistake is yours." A silence. Then Father's low snarl. "You owe us respect." "No," I countered. "I owed you honesty. You discarded it in Rome." Silence followed. Then their steps receded down the hall. I leaned against the door, my heart steady. The sound of their departure didn't cause pain. It sounded like space being created. Space I could finally fill with my own existence. That night, I sat by the window, camera in hand. The city lights blurred through the pane. I snapped one picture, just shadow and light. No ghosts, no family, no faces. It was the first image in years that wasn't created for them. And as my phone vibrated again, 36 missed calls and counting, I smiled. I whispered into the empty room, "I told you I'm very busy." The morning I departed North Carolina, the sky was heavy with early fog. My suitcase quietly bumped behind me through the terminal. For once, no one texted instructions or demanded updates. Just silence, the welcome kind. At the gate, I checked my phone. One unread message from Mother. "We must talk. Please come home." I stared at it for a long moment, then typed back 3 words, "I'm very busy." I then switched the device off permanently. When the aircraft descended, Raleigh shrank beneath the clouds. Streets, homes, memories, all fading into gentle distance. The higher I flew, the lighter I felt. Aunt Sarah greeted me at Seattle's airport with a warm embrace and a thermos of hot coffee. "Welcome home, kid," she said. That word, home, landed differently this time. It implied beginning, not obligation or debt. Her house was small, painted faded blue, ivy climbing the porch rails. That first night, I unpacked only one item, my camera. It felt alive in my hands, waiting for me all along. When classes commenced, I walked into the photography studio with buzzing nerves. Yet, the moment I looked through the lens, capturing light, motion, and color, I felt centered, complete. Every shutter click was a reclamation of a part of myself I had neglected. Weeks turned into months. My parents stopped calling. Willow didn't text. The silence that once terrified me transformed into genuine peace. One rainy evening, I stood on a bridge downtown, camera ready, watching the streetlights ripple on the water below. The scene echoed that restaurant, lights, reflections, empty chairs. But this time, there was no sharp ache, only calm appreciation. Sometimes people inquire about what transpired after that night. I reply with this: they traveled to Rome, but I discovered freedom. And every photograph I take now reminds me of the words that ended everything and initiated something better: "I'm very busy." If you have ever had to move away from people who took your efforts for granted, share in the comments what you chose for yourself instead. And remember to subscribe for more narratives like this. Because sometimes, the best form of revenge is not anger, it is peace.